Alright guys, Norway and the Netherlands or Holland or whatever the hell you want to call them. I refer to them as Holland usually, just less syllables really. And I've just drawn 1-1 in quite an interesting game to be fair. The first half went many directions. To start off with, Holland were on top. They had a couple of half chances through Depay and what's his name? Gakpo. Is it Gakpo? Yeah, Gakpo, number 9. But they were barely chances, to be honest. But Norway started to apply a bit of pressure about 10-15 minutes in, and they got a goal through Erling Haaland. It was a very lucky goal, to say the least. Poor defending from the Holland left back, whose name slips my mind. He just the whole of the defensive line, Van Dijk, De Vrij, and Timber, all moved forwards, and he just stayed behind for some reason, and played Haaland onside. The ball came over the top. Haaland controlled it. Van Dijk threw himself at it, managed to get a touch on the ball. Unfortunately, he whacked the ball against Haaland's foot, and it somehow bobbled into the bottom corner, making it 1-0 to Norway. And Norway were quite good in the first half, to be fair. I thought they had a few chances. Haaland, just before he scored, did miss a one-on-one as well. The keeper saved, and it nearly actually slipped under the keeper. He managed to gain control of the ball though eventually. But then just before half-time, Holland started to ramp up the pressure a little bit, and most of the stuff they did came from the right-hand side through players like Berghuis, Timber, and Jorginho Wijnaldum. It was Wijnaldum who put the cross in. I think it was Depay who missed it, but it deflected back to Davy Klaassen, who a lot of you may remember from his one season at Everton in 2017-18. They signed him and then immediately signed Wayne Rooney, which basically just took his space in the Everton lineup, so there was no point signing him. Because Wayne Rooney was never going to be a long-term signing. In fact, Wayne Rooney only stayed for a season as well. But then the following season, you'd have thought, okay, Rooney's leaving for the MLS. You'd think Klaassen's going to get to play a bit more. But they also signed Gylfi Sigurdsson, so he just had no chance, did he? And Andre Gomez as well. That might have even been the summer they signed Bernard as well. They just didn't give Klaassen a chance, and Klaassen did really well to finish it. To be fair, it came at him quickly, and he was on the run, and it wasn't in his stride. He did really well to adjust his feet. He didn't get the cleanest contact ever, but it just sort of floated over the goalkeeper who'd already dived. But yeah, that made it 1-1 at half time. Into the second half, Virgil van Dijk had a bit of a wrestle with Haaland, I think it was, and Van Dijk went down a bit awkwardly. Now, as a Liverpool fan, a bit cringe face, but you know, that was yeah, I was definitely cringing at that moment. And Van Dijk, he went over and it looked like he dislocated his finger or something. Now, thankfully, he shouldn't miss any games for a dislocated finger. So, you know, warning over. But and he did carry on for the rest of the game. Holland did bring on Donyell Malen, and he had a bit of an impact. I thought he looked quite good when he came on. And he produced a bit of magic. He completely sent one of the Norway midfielders, I can't remember his name, Norman, I think it was, with a really good step over, but he didn't get the cleanest contact on the shot, and it just sort of went wide. Yeah. But in the second half, the way it went was Norway sat back a lot more and allowed Holland to have a lot more of the ball and hit them on the counter attack occasionally. And there was one moment where Odegaard picked up the ball on the halfway line. Haaland, you can see from this one moment why Haaland is a great goal scorer. So he runs into De Vrij, the other Holland centre-back, partnering Virgil van Dijk. And at the exact moment he knows Odegaard's going to pass it to him, he peels off him. And you could see like he knew when the ball was coming. So De Vrij's going this way, and De Vrij's going that way. Haaland follows him and then peels off him to make space for the pass to come in. And when it does come in, he hit the post and was really unlucky not to score. And that was really it for clear-cut chances until the very last kick of the game, when Denzel Dumfries, who came on as a sub, missed a really good chance. There was a ball played across into the box. I think it was Klaassen who sort of flicked it onto the back post. Either Marlon or Depay completely missed the ball, and it hit Dumfries, and he kicked it with both his right foot and left foot at the same time. Had no power on it, and one of the Denmark defenders and the goalkeeper managed to scramble it away. But anyway, that's how it finished. It finished 1-1. But both teams didn't look too bad. I thought Norway were quite impressive defensively and looked decent on the counter-attack with Haaland and Odegaard. But also, I don't think Holland were really at their best today. But yeah, it was a good game to watch. I enjoyed it. And anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.